My maid of honor begged me not to marry my fiance a week before our wedding, and I need to know if I did the right thing. My fiance and I had been together for over 3 years, and I thought that I was the luckiest girl in the whole world. My friends loved him, my family loved him. I truly was living in the mindset that I was in this perfect relationship with the perfect guy. My maid of honor was my best childhood friend. She knows me better than anyone else in the entire world, but unfortunately, we live in different states. So before I got engaged, she had only met my fiance a handful of times when she came to visit, or we went to visit her. But about 5 months before the wedding, my maid of honor actually decided to move home, and she ended up living about 15 minutes from me. So she started spending a ton of time with my fiance and I. And this is when I started noticing a shift. She seemed to be so much less excited about wedding planning. When my fiance would walk into the room, she'd go quiet. It was just weird. Like, I could tell the vibe was off, and anytime I tried to ask her about it, she would just tell me it was nothing. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. I kind of chalk it all up to the fact that maybe she's just stressed out because being a maid of honor is a big responsibility, and she just went through this big move. It's probably just a lot on her plate, so I don't push it. But that's when I get the phone call. Less than a week before my wedding, I get a call from my maid of honor, and she's absolutely sobbing and asks me if she can come over. I was like, yes, absolutely. I think that something's going on with her personally. I would have never expected what she was about to say to me. So she comes over, and she's an absolute mess. She's crying, she's shaking, she looks so upset. And so I'm trying to ask her what's wrong, and for a while, she's just not even able to say anything to me. But finally, she just looks at me and says, you can't marry him. You have to call off this wedding. And I am absolutely shocked. And my mind goes exactly where yours may have gone. Did you find out he was cheating on me? She's like, no, that's not it. I was like, okay, did he say something to you that rubbed you the wrong way? Like, I don't understand. She's like, no, he didn't say anything to me. So I'm just absolutely dumbfounded. I'm trying to get her to explain more what's going on. And she was like, it's hard for me to even describe why you need to end it, but you need to trust me. It's for the best that you don't marry this man. And that's when she hands me her phone, and it's not pictures, it's not texts, it's a notes app. And since she had moved closer to us, she started writing down every instance where she felt like my fiance was not good for me. She told me it was never the plan to gather all this information and put it in a notes app and then just bombard me with it right before my wedding, but that's kind of what was happening. Like, she wrote down a ton of things, and then right before my wedding is showing me. She told me that she started to feel like she was losing her mind a little bit because she felt like my fiance wasn't good for me, but she didn't know if those feelings were valid or if maybe she was just a super overprotective friend. So every time a situation presented itself where she started getting this feeling that something wasn't right, she wrote it down so that she could look at it and then decide if her feelings were valid. And my immediate reaction is to be upset because nobody's perfect. So what do you mean you were just writing every single time he messed up on a list and that's what you're presenting? Because obviously he's gonna look bad if you're just writing down every single mistake you've ever seen him make. But that's when I noticed that the notes app wasn't just specific instances of things that he did. It was showing patterns, things that he was consistently doing that weren't right. One of the examples she had on the notes app was, your fiance always puts down your accomplishments. And she noted the instance when I got promoted at work and I threw a celebration dinner, and my fiance in front of all of my friends and family said that, yeah, it was great that I got promoted, but if I would have worked harder, I would have already been promoted. And looking at all the examples on there, I realized she was kind of right. When I was thinking about it, anytime something big and amazing happened in my life, it was never just congratulations, that's amazing. It was always conditional. That's amazing, but it could have been more amazing, or but I did this, or but, never just congratulations. Another thing that was on the list was that he was constantly putting me down in front of everybody, but he was using the excuse that it was a joke to make it okay. For example, one time we were meeting my friends out at a dinner, and he had asked me to grab him something from home and totally forgot. Was super busy that day. It just slipped my mind. When I get there, he just starts going on and on about how I'm the most forgetful person he's ever met, that he can't even trust me to plan our wedding or our honeymoon by myself. Like, he has to really make sure I'm doing everything right because I would probably just forget one of the most important things and ruin the day. First of all, I'm really not that forgetful. I forgot one thing in this situation, but he turned that one thing into an entire speech about why I'm basically useless. And the list started to go on and on like that. It was not these one-off instances. It was just continuous patterns of behavior that just kind of showed that he didn't respect me. But I was not ready to see that right before my wedding. So obviously at this point, I'm very upset, and I tell my maid of honor that it is probably best if she goes home because I just need to sit and process all of this. And as I begin thinking about it, I was like, this is ridiculous. She's just being overprotective. She only sees a small part of our relationship. She doesn't see all the amazing things he does for me, blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm telling myself. But the next day, something happened, and it just hit me all at once that she might be right. I was looking for my AirPods, and I asked my fiance, hey, have you seen them anywhere? Cannot find them. They were not where I left them. And he just starts going on this rant about how I'm so irresponsible, how he can't ever buy me anything nice because I'm just gonna lose it. And I need to work on that. And you know, it's such a burden on him how much I lose things. What if I really couldn't tell you that many things I've lost. Everyone loses things sometimes. Not that big of a deal, but he's just going on and on and on about how irresponsible I am. Like, okay, I get it. I ended up apologizing. I'm like, yeah, I'm really sorry. Well, I'm always apologizing. That was on our list too. You're always apologizing when you really didn't do anything wrong. Then an hour later, my fiance comes over to me, drops my AirPods on my lap and says, oh yeah, forgot. I actually took them from right where you said you left them and took them to the gym with me. Here you go. No apology. No, hey, I'm really sorry that I just went off on you about how forgetful you are and how, you know, irresponsible you are, when really he was the one that was forgetful, that he took my AirPods without asking to go use them in the first place. It just hit me all at once, all the times that I apologized for things that weren't my fault, all the times that I felt like I needed to communicate better, that I was too emotional, that everything was my fault, when really, no, it wasn't. When I looked at that list, I was like, wait, the reason that I would feel the way that I felt and I would be upset is because sometimes he wasn't nice to me. And I don't know what causes me to ask this question specifically, but I just look at him and say, hey, do you remember why we got in a fight the night before my birthday? And my birthday had been a few months back, so this was pretty recent. And he just looks at me and goes, oh yeah, when I got home late and you completely overreacted by getting upset with me, but I don't know why we're talking about this, like I forgave you. For context, what happened that night was I was throwing a birthday dinner celebration for all my closest friends at my apartment, and he didn't show up. I was calling him, I was texting him, he wasn't there. He shows up in the last 30 minutes of the dinner because he forgot about it. He was out drinking with his friends and just didn't come. I didn't even say anything to him about it. I just started crying, and I went and spent the night at one of my friends' houses that night because I was just so hurt. And that's when I realized that my best friend was completely right, and she was able to see something that I was unable to see with my rose-colored glasses. Even when I didn't do anything wrong and he was obviously in the wrong, it all gets twisted and somehow I'm the one apologizing. And I just called off the wedding right there. Less than a week before the wedding. He was shocked. He did not see it coming. I was shocked. I didn't see it coming. Yeah, I just told him, I can't do this. I can't do this relationship. It's not right for me. And I left. I packed up my stuff and I showed up on my maid of honor's front door. And I was like, hey, can I live with you for a little bit? Some of my friends and family think I overreacted. They think that these were just a few small things that we could have worked on instead of canceling an entire wedding and just breaking up. But I don't know, I feel like I did the right thing. But let me know what you think and what you would have done, because yeah, it was a little bit of an extreme decision.